This episode is brought to you by Santos Threads. Make sure to visit Santos-Threads for the latest and greatest in men's and women's Latino urban-inspired streetwear. Visit SANTOS-THREADS.com. You are now listening to the Santos Says podcast, episode number 50. Back for you guys once more, of course. Don't forget to check out Santos-Threads.com. Follow me on social media, Santos Thread Shop on Instagram and Santos Thread Shop on TikTok. So I'm glad to be here. I have these two gentlemen that are going to be joining me momentarily. I have them on here. They are friends, not only of the show, but friends of mine. I've had them on here before, and I'm really happy to have them on. They are from the Ghost Squad, of course. Those are my people. But these guys just dropped an EP that is absolutely outstanding. And I want to have them on here to really talk about it. We're going to talk about their EP. We're going to talk about what they have coming up. They're repping the Ghost Squad, of course. In this, this is not obviously the first project they've made in this vein. They've made several projects together, compilations with their group. But this is an album that they made. They formed a duo, Tru Werdz King Vir2ue. They made the album as Tru Werdz King Vir2ue, and of course, this album is called the EP is called Looking Forward. I'm talking about Tru Werdz and King Vir2ue, and they are going to be joining me right now. So I want to talk about this EP. I want to talk about their shows they have coming up, the whole thing, and we'll, talk a little stuff in between as well. Get into it. So without further ado, I want to welcome to the show Tru Werdz and King Vir2ue.
Peace.
Whoa, what's going on?
Peace. What's up?
Peace. Yo, listen, I'm glad that we finally able to chop it up and have this get this done, man. I'm really happy to have you guys, and I was just bumping your joint right now too, right before Get Me in the Zone. Great EP.
Thank you. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll get right into it, right? So, first of all, obviously, how you guys came up with the conglomerate name, you took pieces of your name. So that part is self-explanatory. The Tru Werdz King Vir2ue, right? That's a dope name. What made you come up with the album title, the EP title, Looking Forward?
It was actually one of the songs that we were actually creating on the EP. It's called Looking Forward. And it's basically about setting standards of this is what we're expecting. This is what's the expectations of everybody. This is what it should be. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're looking forward to. Nothing less, but more. You understand what I'm saying? Not saying that this is the pinnacle. This is where everybody should be. Everybody should be past that. So we're looking forward past everything else, past this thing. It can't be less. Anybody that's on the Ghost Squad can't bring nothing less than what we're bringing on this EP. Basically, is what the whole EP is about.
Yeah, one of the first things that you ever told me when we first met, and he started his guidance, was the number one thing that you should be concerned about is quality first, right? Number one. Like, if you got a list of 10 things, number one is quality. So to his point, looking forward, what we tried to do with the EP is we wanted to, one, not sound like anything else that's out, but yet sound 100% hip hop. And I like to think of it and feel of it like it's almost like a futuristic boom bap album, right? So it has some elements of previous boom bap, but it doesn't sound like anything that you've really heard before, right? It's reminiscent on certain tracks, but it definitely doesn't sound like anything that's out right now currently, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Looking forward is just that. It's like, yo, this is a different thing. This is a different sound. It's a different chemistry. Straight bars, straight beats, takes you on a journey. And it's like he said, looking forward this is where we're trying to go. We're not trying to be stuck in the 90s, right? Which is, we all know, is the golden era, but there's no reason why we can't keep moving forward with hip hop and the culture and the music. So
yeah, like, I mean, one of the things that first of all, I was telling Tru offline, I was like, yo, like, I'm trying to like, I have a couple joints that's like is my favorite song, right? But like I'm listening to all of them, I'm like they all provide a certain value, a certain vibe. Were you guys, was there something in your lives, and you both can answer it, you know, as detailed as you want to, or however you like. Was there something that was going on? You don't have to get super specific, but was there something going on in each of your lives that influenced it? Because I can tell, especially on not only on the lyricist side, obviously Tru Werdz side, but on the production side, there's a little darkness in the back of that. There's a little darkness and pain on this album.
Yeah, no, it's you know, the chemistry that we have is a reflection, right? So I kind of understand what Tru looks for in production, but then I also have a certain style, right? And it tends to gel well. The whole point was we just didn't want every track to sound the same. So like sometimes, like I might know the BPMs should be between 85 and 90, but I might be in a mood, right? So I'd be like, I want to make something a little moody, a little bit dark, you know what I'm saying? Or a little bit dirty, or a little bit, you know, just moody, you know what I'm saying? And then I might send it to Tru, or it might just be a sample of something, you know what I'm saying? And be like, he's like, oh, wait, hold on, what's that? You know what I'm saying? Let's work around that. It might just be a melody, a bass line, or something like that. And then we'll take it from there. But it usually is based off of, you know, Tru's inspiration around the beat. You know, sometimes I might make something and swear that he's going to love it, and then it's just not for him. And then other times I'll make something that I'm surprised that he likes it. And he's like, yo, let's do that. And I'm like, all right. And then I start cooking up. So to me, it was a combination of both. But yeah, I can't say I was going through anything personally on the darker tracks, but it was definitely a conscious effort to make the project balanced, right? So we didn't want it to all be high energy, or all be slow, or all be melancholy. We wanted to literally take you on, you know, on a ride, up and down, up and down, up and down, smooth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo,
no, basically, yeah, that's basically how actually all the songs were created. They were created like based on a certain sound or a particular drum. And I'm like, man, that drum is fire, man. Let's hear some samples. And then he'll come up with some stuff. And I'm like, yo, that shit goes good with that. He's like, oh, let me try it, blah, blah. But yeah, sometimes I mess it up, you know, because I'm not a producer or nothing. I'm a beat maker, so I'll mess up his beats. He's like, man, you just and he's like, yo, this is the sound we were talking about. I was like, yeah, that's the shit. Then we'll do it right there as we're actually talking on the phone, not even looking. So we could be talking on the phone, and he has that, and he's doing something in the lab, and I'm like, yo, that shit goes good together and shit. What other drums you got? And then he'll switch out the drums, and sometimes it comes out better, sometimes it goes to the worst. But man, building the project was incredible because we actually build the project. It wasn't like, hey, Tru Werdz, here's some beats, do what you have to do with the beats. And I'm like, no, it's not like that. You know, it was perfect. Based on anything behind the messages, you know, we all have experiences. We all also hear other people out, and you know, sometimes they don't talk about it, and sometimes I would just like to talk about it and put it out. And sometimes things that I've been through, and you know, especially trying to help people, and people not taking that for granted, and not really grasping what I was trying to do with them, and they go a different route and stuff like that, and just you gotta talk about it, you gotta let it out. I mean, sometimes you gotta let it out.
It was I will say this. It was, you know, it's the last 6 to 8 months have been a turbulent time for Ghost Squad, just because we have had many members come and go, not many, but a few that were part, and then they weren't, you know, for all different reasons. You know what I mean? There hasn't been any that have become any real beef or anything like that, but they just decided that they couldn't be coached and guided, which was the initial prerequisite for being part of the team. Was let's grow together and let's learn from somebody who's as intelligent and wise in the game as Tru is. And you get a lot of people that he will try to coach and guide, and sometimes even myself in certain arenas, and they just feel like they know better. right? So it's like, all right, well then go at it on your own. And then we tend to see, and not to throw shots at anyone that has left, that they just end up going dormant. You know, they don't further their career. They didn't learn from their mistakes from being with us. And it's sad because there's a lot of talented people that could be in a much better position if they would listen and work together and try to help each other. That's all we really do as a collective, is try to help each other get better, right? That's it. We're not a record label. We're like a bunch of artists that are trying to get there, and we're trying to help each other however we can.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's interesting because it always comes back to ego. It always goes back to ego, and it's a very difficult thing in all arenas for all of us sometimes to be able to have the presence of mind to say, okay, you know, to not take be able to handle constructive criticism, be able to check our egos at the door and say, hey, listen, you know, Tru and Vir2ue, they and others, right? They know what they're doing. Let me put my work in their hands and really trust their process, right? They can help me get from here to here, because that individual, they have to look at it from another standpoint. Like, hey, they have something. You guys saw something in them that you want to cultivate. You're just trying to help coach them and get there. Right. They're taking it the wrong way.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
it's not that we're saying we're better than you. We're just saying,
right,
try it this way. We've seen it work this way. Why not? You know, I try to lead by example. Tru definitely tries to lead by example. So if we do something and it works, whether it's targeting your audience, you know, finding the right, you know, DJ to play your music, and making the right connections, and then we show them that those relationships can be wonderful to have, and then they don't go and do the same thing, and then they wonder why we might have some success sometimes, and we say, well, we just showed you the blueprint. You chose not to follow it. So are we wrong, or are you wrong? Are we supposed to hold your hand the whole way? You know, at some point, the training wheels have to come off. So,
yeah, right. Basically, you know, my first question is, are you guidable? Are you willing to be guided? That's the first thing, because, you know, besides everything else, I want to be able to be comfortable to helping you, direct you to the right path. I don't want to feel like I'm telling you what to do. I don't want you to feel like I'm telling you what to do. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not your boss. I'm not your dad. You know, I'm not your mom. I'm nobody of authority. I'm just trying to help you. I'm like that helping hand. You know what I'm saying? That's all I am. But if it's not for you, then it's not for you. And I respect that 100%. You're allowed to walk around and do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? That's up to you. You know what I'm saying? That freedom. So that's basically how all the relationships is on Ghost Squad. You know, we're here for a helping hand, and that's it. This is how I did it. This is what came out of it. Look at it. Look at the success. It will work for you. You just got to put the work. If you don't put the work, it's never going to happen. You're just going to see me prosper, and then it's just like, why is it not working for me? You didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Right. You didn't do these steps. There's certain steps. You can't go from one. There's 5 steps, and you have to go from 1 to 5 in that order in order for you to get results. Why would you go 1 and then try to skip 2 to go all the way to 4? It's not going to work.
Right.
You know, instructions, a blueprint. You know, blueprints have instructions. It's like IKEA. You go to IKEA.
Yeah.
Try to do it yourself. You're looking at extras and like, am I supposed to have extras? Hold on.
Right. And then the drawer falls apart because you have extra bolts and stuff like hanging around. The Allen wrench is like just there, like.
Yeah, basically that's what it is.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But that's what it is. I basically, you know, some songs in there is talking about that. That's just one of the things, and man, we can go even deeper whenever you get to a song or whatever, and I'll let you know. If you get to a song and you want to ask me about the song,
it's a lot. It's very introspective. If you listen to the previous records that me and Tru have done, we've done like 6 records before the actual EP. You know, a lot of those were just like punch you in the face, you know, bar heavy, just like, you know, we're the nastiest duo that you've ever seen. This EP was a lot of introspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear reasons and you hear find yourself, you hear feelings. These are songs that are just, they take you on inside the mind of Tru, you know what I'm saying? Which you don't get that very often. And you're learning something. If you really listen to the words, you're learning something very, very important to you, yourself, and your career, particularly if you're another artist.
Yeah.
Who are you talking about on Find Yourself? No. no, you don't have to say who.
Bro, it's
that
specific.
It's obvious. It's obvious.
It's basically, it is the obvious, but it's basically, it's basically like how you supposed to know what to sell to your fans or to your all fans if you don't know who you are as an artist, right? So you have to find yourself. You have to know who you are as an artist and what you bring to the table in order to find out where I can present. Because you just can't present anything to anyone because everybody has a preference. But if you find your preference, you're gonna be winning all the time within that preference. If I'm Santos' preference in hip hop, I'm always gonna be Santos' hip hop guy. I can send Santos my hip hop shit. He's gonna be like, yeah, I love this shit because you're my preference. I'm always gonna win.
You pretty much are, but you're there already.
Yeah, so that's basically that's what I said. Find yourself first. You gotta find yourself. Yeah. All the egos, all that other shit, that shit doesn't count when it comes to your craft and what you're bringing to the table. Whatever the next man is doing, that's none of your business. Don't worry about, you know what I'm saying? Worry about who you are. Find yourself. And that's for everybody that's doing running a business, a podcast. Don't worry about the other podcasters. Don't worry about the other guys selling stickers. Worry about what you bring to the table, how you sell it. That's what it counts. That's what find yourself.
Vir2ue. So Vir2ue on this, first of all, that's my favorite. I love all the songs, but that's probably one of the ones that hit me the most because like I could relate to that. You could apply that to all walks of life because like, right? How many times you're telling somebody, like you're telling your friend or you're telling somebody like, dude, like stop stressing over such and such. Find yourself because that's when shit hits the fan, right? You're like, when it gets real, you know, such and such is in a bad situation. You're trying to guide them and they don't see it. But you see it. You see dangers ahead. Find it. You got to find yourself. They don't want to listen. So I love that record. That song, Find Yourself. I love that song. What were, I guess, like, what were some of the elements of putting that track together? Because it's a very soulful, obviously it's got a sample on it. It's got a nice soulful melody to it. What were the elements of that?
So when I some of my creative process, when I sit down, or I sit down to cook, right? Sometimes I'll just challenge myself to say, okay, today I'm gonna take 5 or 6 samples and I'm gonna create around these samples, right? That's what I'm doing today. And then other times it'd be like, all right, I'm not gonna do any samples. I'm gonna play it out today, or I'm just gonna focus on drums, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? And that day, that batch will have a similar focus around it. So that was a day that I went through and I had probably 8 or 9 different samples, and I came across that one, right? To Find Yourself, and I was like, it hit differently, right? And the way the whole track was, and then you hear even the breakdown, and then using that as the chorus, right? So go on and find yourself, and then even the way it has like crescendo.
So dope.
It was so just dope. So the way I just chopped it up, and then the way the drums hit, and then the bass line had to fit perfectly. It took me a while to construct that beat because it had to be perfect. Because I'm like, when you have something that impactful, I knew what it could do if it was done right. So I probably spent more time on constructing that beat than I normally do because there's so much involved in the emotional ride it takes you on, and it had to punch you in the gut, right? So as soon as that kick, as soon as it hits, it comes on, you're like, all right, I'm just like another one, right? As soon as it comes on, you're ready to go, like 0 to 100. And that's one of those songs where I wanted to make sure it was perfect. And I remember, it's funny, that's one of the first beats that I sent to Tru for the EP, but it was the last one that was recorded.
Another one?
No, Find Yourself.
Or Find Yourself. Yeah, I was gonna say another one is like tailor-made for Tru. Yeah. Like I've heard a lot of Tru's joints as I've gone back, and it's like that joint was tailor made for Tru. Another. That's right. That's vintage Tru. Another one. That's right.
Word. I felt more connected to another one. I told him that's my favorite song because I feel more connected to it. But I also like the last one. It just gave me. I had it for a long time, but I didn't get to it, and I don't even know why I didn't get to it. And it took me long. It took me. The EP would have been done already if it wasn't for that.
Yeah. Oh, that was the one that we were talking about, right? On that episode.
Yeah.
Where you couldn't put it away.
I was like, man, I just can't get this one done. What the hell's going on, man?
Yeah.
And it ends up being one of most people's favorite. Like when we kind of do like a little, tally and we ask, what's your favorite track? And we keep getting different answers, but a lot of people percentage wise tend to like Find Yourself and another one but then they're like looking forward. Then it's Feelings. It's like every day.
Looking Forward is dope too, man. Like, oh man. Like, I like Reasons. Yeah. Reasons is another one too. I like deep introspective shit. Like that's what I always gravitate towards.
It will always even myself as one of the co-creators of the project. I find myself every day when I listen to it, enjoying a different record more. Like I'll listen to Reasons, like, oh man, this is crazy, man. Like the chorus. Then I'll hear another one and be like, say that's my favorite. And people keep kind of rediscovering what their favorite one is. Sometimes it's just the production that gets them, and then sometimes it's just the lyrics, and other times it's just the feeling. Like they catch a double or a triple entendre that they didn't catch before, and they're like, oh, that's what he meant. Yeah, I got to run that back. I catch him all the time. I'll let him know. I'm like, bro, I didn't even realize what you were saying. That's crazy. Like,
yeah.
He loves doing that though. See, that's the thing about Tru. Tru is not one of those people that, and I'm not just saying this because you hear, but he's one of those people, because this is how I actually found him. Because I was listening to something that he put out. I forgot. You came up on my algorithm. You remember, I told you the story.
Yeah.
And you said some shit about fucking Oliver Twist or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, the way he plays with the bars, like the average person doesn't know who the hell wrote Oliver Twist. The average person, but I knew, because I was a hip hop head, but I was also a nerd in school. So it's like, I got it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh shit, he's smart. He gets it. You know what I mean? So
are you talking about like Star Action?
Star Action.
Yeah, from that joint. Yeah. From back in that joint.
That's one of our first tracks that we did together.
Crazy record. I remember that's how I found him. And then I noticed he put a bunch of double entendres, triple entendres. And I'm like, yo, this guy is like, because it was refreshing to me, because I was like, people don't care about lyrics anymore. They just don't, on a mainstream level. They just don't. There's an attention to detail when you do that.
Right.
And then how your production, you can tell you didn't just give him a beat, because I was listening on, trying to listen from a production side as well, trying to listen to the instrumentation and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't just hand them a beat and go, here's a track. No, the cadences, the pauses, there's an attention to detail from the track side too. Yeah. Talk to me about that, how you tailored those joints to him too. You know what I mean? To his style.
I know, he loves drops and he doesn't like switch.
Yes.
Right? So that I know.
Yeah, I don't like switching. I doesn't
like switch ups, right? I'm notorious for switch ups when I work with any other artist. So a lot of times I'll make constructive beat with a switch up, and it'll be like, he hates the first part, but he loves the switch up. He'd be like, all right, let's loop the switch up and then add some drops in, and then change up the drums, and really, and then, the more we've done that. So just like how we're talking right now is how we'll talk on IG Live, and we'll just construct it together. I'll try these. Well, do you like these drums? But when it's coming close to actually finishing, once I know we got the meat and potatoes done, then I know I'm going to add a drop in here. I know I'm going to add, make sure the bass line kicks there. And then the last part is going to be left up to the person that masters it. So if you trust that person to know what Tru likes and the ultimate sound we're looking for, the person that masters the record is super important. So they're vital. Yeah, they're vital to it. So I always say, like, for the majority of my production, before when it was with Tru, it was with Tragedy, right? He knows Tru's ear, right? So he knows what he's looking for, where to add the drops and the little like record skips. And now it's K Banger, who's part of Ghost Squad. He, I consider him almost like a co-producer because he knows how to polish up what I'm doing, right? So yeah, I'm a producer and there's certain sounds and things that I'm looking for as the beat maker, but he really polishes it up all together, right? So I'm looking forward when he says, no, I'm sorry, another one. He's like puff puff pass, that was K Bang, puff puff pass. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Those little things make the album, make the songs just, they stand out. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's to me the reason why. Some people always wonder. You get certain producers that have their name involved in the project, but they don't actually rap, right? I come from the old school era, P Rock, CL Smooth. Like, I want to be involved in the project. I don't want to. That's why I don't do BeatStars. I think I might have mentioned this before. Yeah. I don't do BeatStars because I don't want just a bunch of random people rapping on a King Vir2ue beat. If somebody's rapping on King Vir2ue beat, that means we've spoken, we've worked together. I know you. Even if I haven't physically met you, we've had a conversation. You know what I mean? We've actually built this thing together. I want to be a part of it, right? I don't want to just track out a beat, send it to you and sell it to you for whatever. And then, little Percocet just dribbles all over it and makes it sound ridiculous. I love money, but not that much. I would rather have a legacy of great music than to have a bunch of idiots rapping over my music.
No, it's your name. It's your reputation. I'm glad you feel that way because I don't feel, and you know this, because you just go to YouTube. You got people that'll sell, there's people who steal a beat and they'll sell it to you.
Yeah.
That happens too.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, so when you're dealing with Tru, you're dealing with myself, you're getting a one of one. If you're getting a verse from Tru, you're getting a one of one. If you're getting a beat from Vir2ue, you're getting a one of one. Now, somebody else in Ghost Squad might have heard the beat first and passed on it, but it's not being sold to somebody or given to somebody just because, you know what I'm saying, because of a check or anything like that. I care more about the legacy. I want to build, a year, 2, 3 years from now, where you listen to anything that my name is attached to, it's going to be dope. Just like it used to be with Havoc and Alchemist and certain producers, where as soon as you heard their name, you're like, it's got to be fire. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm fortunate enough to have somebody as dope as Tru to rap over my stuff as much as he does. And that makes me look that much better. You know what I'm saying? So,
see, you mentioned 2 producers who are super underrated. Right there. Alchemist, first of all, Alchemist to me is super crazy underrated.
Yeah.
And, oh my God. And Havoc as well as a producer.
And they've both done records that people had no idea because they weren't even like what they're known for. Like Havoc produced Y for Jadakiss, right?
Yes.
That's not a traditional Havoc beat. Then you have the joint with Bruno Mars, Smokey Robinson, and Anderson .Paak. That first hit record that was like the #1 song before the album dropped. It was a pop record. He produced that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So like when I found it out, I was like, what? Like it sounded like nothing Al would ever do. And it was a smoker. It was top 100 hit, everything produced by Alchemist. So when you hear about these artists that are true beat makers and producers that don't just stick to what they're quote unquote known for, that's one of my loves of being a producer. I want you to know that I made the beat, but I don't want it to be that recognizable where it's like when you heard Pharrell or Timberland and it was a very, very signature sound, or even Swiss, in the earlier days with the cowbell and everything else. I don't want it to be that obvious, but you can tell by the way I structure my beats or the type of sounds that I use. Oh yeah, Vir2ue made that beat. Like everyone in my camp can tell that I made it, even if it doesn't sound like the same track I've done before.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't only like him sending me a beat and saying, "Hey, what do you think about this?" It was actually vice versa in the sense of like the writing process. Every time I had like a 4-bar, I'm here calling them
because Feelings is a perfect example.
I'm so proud of it, but I said, but I want him to be proud of it too. So let me just buy him. I call him and say, "Yo, check this out." Blah blah blah. I start going crazy on it, and then he's like, "Yo, that shit's fired." I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna keep this fucking 4-bar. This is
Yeah.
going. That's how it was.
True thinks in bars, right? We talk about it all the time. We speak almost every day, and he thinks in bars. Like he can't even help himself. And Feelings is like that, because Feelings is a great record, great 2 records, really, story wise, because he didn't write that based off of the beat. He had that idea for that song already. I had to figure out how to get a perfect beat to match the sentiment of Feelings. Like he was like, "Yo,
I love
got
the concept.
He's
love
got
the
I got this hook in
concept.
my head.
I feel like blah 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 blah. I feel like da-da-da. Love it.
So I had to work around his lyrics. You know, most artists will hear the beat and then write to the beat. No, I had to construct around his. He already had the concept and idea.
I wrote that first, and I told him about it.
Yeah, so I'm like trying to figure out. I gotta match that. You know, that energy.
Yeah, I told him I don't have a beat for it. I got this idea. This is how it goes. Feelings, and I started like, yo, that shit is fire. It's like, I said, I know, but I got nothing. I got nothing for it. Like I don't know. He actually sent the track, and I actually liked the track, and I'm like, man, but it just feels like it needs somebody to be singing. So we decided to go with that. We got Steam Lagoon on it, former Ghost Squad. Shout out to him. Incredible voice. And he killed it. And I was just like, yeah, but it wasn't what I was looking for. I wasn't content with it. You know, I loved the record. It was dope. I told him, yo, it's fire, but it's not what I'm looking for. I need something that captures what I'm trying to do with this melody, with this song of mine. And he's like, oh man, I see what I can cook up and stuff like that. But we stood with Feelings with the singing part for a minute until he came up.
So the remix was the first version of Feelings, but he was so adamant about it. He's like, no, there's a certain feeling that comes along with Feelings, right? That he had in mind. So I had to find it. And it took me a while, I'm not gonna lie. Like there's a Feelings graveyard on my computer of beats that I tried to get it, and then once I got it and I played it for him, and that's another thing. A lot of times I'll play it, you know, over the phone, like not send it to him, just to play it, and he'll hear it and he'll be like, yeah, yo, that's it, send it over. And once I got that, he was like, yeah, that's it.
He said, what's it? Feelings, man. He said,
yeah, he started rapping along to it. He was like, send it over.
Feelings remix. That's gonna be Feelings remix, man. This is Feelings. This is what I'm looking for.
This is the original, yeah. and it's so dope because the lyrics are the same, and that's what I love about it. So like my fiance, she loves the remix, right? It's a little bit more, you know, girl friendly, or you know, it has a little bit more of a, but she gets to digest the same lyrics and the same song and sentiment in a different way. So that's what I love about it, right? But then we hear it differently from a you know, bar, you know, hip hop, you know. She's hearing it totally different and appreciating the same lyrics, but because the beat is different and it's constructed differently, we're both getting 2 different experiences from the same lyrics. And that, to me, that's just the magic of music.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's amazing right there, bro.
I love that song too, because I just like we talked about before, the attention to detail, the bars, the way you spin it out there, the way you made a cognizant decision, right? To say, I had this concept, this is the melody. And every bar, I mean, every verse, I'm going to start, or pretty much most of the bars, I'm feeling like blah, blah, blah. You're explaining what you're feeling in that moment.
Right.
And so it's just a dope concept.
Well, how many people feel like that?
Everybody.
Come on.
Telling people to F off, right? You're like, yeah, every day I want to tell people to F off.
Yeah.
So you can relate immediately to the lyrics, and it's very clear, and like you said, cognizant. Like you can understand every syllable that comes out of his mouth and relate to it.
Yeah, like,
whether you're a rapper or not.
Yeah, and you know, you everybody's a protector in their own home. That's why I said, you know, Jehovah can be my witness. You know what I'm saying?
I will let them.
So that's like saying, like, in Jehovah, you know, Jehovah Witnesses, they're a pain in the butt. So you know, people are a pain in the ass. That's another.
Metaphor.
That's another metaphor of being a pain in the ass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy concept, and I had to get the right beat, and the man delivered, man. I was just like, wow, bro, this shit is fire. I like this shit.
Yeah, it's great. Like you guys have this chemistry that is very difficult to build. You know, it's not difficult, but it's not always common, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like now in today's climate, everybody wants to, it's all about me. And what I mean by that is everybody's me, 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 me. The MC. It's all about the MC. And what worries me about hip hop is, yeah, lyricism is down, and everybody wants to be the front liner. They just want to make hits, but
Right.
it's a conglomerate.
Right.
We can't lose how the producer and the DJ and the MC all play a part in this whole thing.
For real.
Nah, 100%. I agree 100%. And that's one of the sad things. I mean, there's so many records that are out that you don't even know who made it, because it was just made by some kid in the basement and sent off, and which is good for them that they have that opportunity, that some kid can make something on his computer, and Kendrick Lamar could actually end up buying it from him. That's great, God bless him. But the synergy that you have when you actually work with somebody and build with them, and you build that chemistry, you then begin to build a sound, right? And that's what we have. Like, we have our own, like, people can tell when we get together, it's gonna be dope, one way or another. And none of the beats are gonna sound the same. You listen to Lyrical Homicide and you listen to Star Action, the only thing that's similar about it is maybe the BPMs, but everything else about it, two totally different records, right? You hear Reasons and Looking Forward, two totally different records, but you know that it's Tru and King Vir2ue.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I guess I want you guys to tell me which track is your favorite. Like, which is your favorite record on the album, each of you?
You can say I'm in my doctor's mode. I just need the patience. Yeah. Another one is good. Is something that I like being aggressive when I'm rapping, and I love like showcasing the bar work on it, because it's just I'm really attracted to the metaphors, like he says, it's just something. I even talk in metaphors when I'm explaining things to people, even at work or at home. I always put it into a metaphor so they can understand it better. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's just the way I taught myself how to talk in that sense. You know what I'm saying? It just makes it easier for me to explain things. So I put it on a record. You know what I'm saying? So basically, so that's why another one is one of my favorites, because I just go in and do what I need to do on that record, like, flawlessly, and I love it, man. I just love it.
It's you. Like I told you earlier, like that record's you. Like, that is you. When I heard that song, I'm like, oh, this is how it's gonna start. This is Tru right here, and in its purest form.
I love that shit. I don't need the charge to illuminate. I can free a Mason. What? Come on.
Yeah, listen.
I'm telling you, man. I got a lot of like doubles in there, triples. It's just incredible. I just love it, man.
It's one of the best. Like, if you were to consider this an album, even though it's an EP, to me, it's one of the best, like, first tracks to set off, a project.
Agreed.
Like, as soon as it comes on, you're like, okay, this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? Even though the rest of the project isn't just all of that, but it sets the tone where you're like, all right, I'm in for something right now. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that was the perfect one.
Yeah, there's no build-up, and that was all true. I had a different idea of what I wanted first, and he was right, because that song, it just sets the tone. Every person that's listened to the EP, and another point to that is, with people being, what I love about it, it's only 18 minutes and 16 seconds, right? So when I tell people to listen to the album, even if they're not fans, I say, yo, it's only 18 minutes, right? Because people have a short attention span. So if I say go listen to the EP, it's only 18, you're not going to necessarily guarantee keep them past that first song, right? Because people just want to, microwave, quick listen to something. But that song, we know that we got them, right? So as soon as they hear that one, they're going to track 2. And then all of a sudden Feelings comes on, and now you're like, oh, okay, this is something different. And next thing you know, they've heard the whole thing, and they're like, this is amazing. So to answer your question, my favorite song, I have 2. And this is the honest God truth. It's Find Yourself and actually the Feelings remix. And the reason why I like the Feelings remix so much is, to me, it's the most musical song. Okay? And what I mean by that is, even with Steve on the "Ooh Baby," which that was true that he came up with that loop in that part.
crazy, right?
Word. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You're gonna make R&B soon. You're gonna make
Yeah.
R&B.
And so to me, that's the like one of the most like you don't even have to be paying attention to the lyrics to just enjoy the groove of that song, right? So for me, you know, from a producer's ear, I love the musicality of it. Like I could just play that in the background, and like my fiance will just sing it around the house just because you know what I mean. She's not really a a bar person, but she's singing along because she just loves how it sounds. It feels good to her. You know what I mean? So I like the musicality of it. But Find Yourself, because of the lyrics matching the intensity of the song, and to me, it's one of my favorite beats that I've chopped up and produced, where the beat was going crazy, the drums was hitting hard, the bass line, I mean, everything about it. And then to top it all off, the message was just perfect. He's not talking about killing people. He's not talking about slapping hoes and doing all this crazy stuff. It's something that anyone can relate to. It's like reading, a Langston Hughes poem. You know what I'm saying? Like hearing something that is an inspirational quote, but the whole song is like that. And just the whole crescendo of how the chorus comes together, and then even how it exits. With the outro, like it just kind of takes it down. The drums go out, and then you're like, boom, right into Reason. So those are, I honestly have to say the two. But if I had to pick one, Find Yourself would be, right now it is, but it rotates. I honestly, God, some days it's another one. I'm like, man, that song goes crazy. And then other times it's feeling original.
Yeah.
So, but if I had to choose with a gun to my head, Find Yourself would be my favorite.
Yeah, I'm like I love all the tracks. I love all the records on this. I mean, not just because y'all here. I actually listen to them. It's dope. But Find Yourself is one of those. Reasons is an underrated song.
Yeah.
Reasons is a really good. It's a really good song. I had that one on repeat before. What was it? Earlier today. That's a good song.
A lot of people
really
say
good song.
The simplicity of it is, and that was, very intentional because that's a very introspective song. So we didn't want. A lot of times, I think people. I have a theory about songs, right? You have a star of the record. It's either the production or the lyricist, right? And I didn't want to take anything away. I wanted it to be as simple and minimalistic as possible because of what Tru was saying was so important. That Reasons needed to have that type of dope beat, but simple beat, where it was almost like it wasn't there. It was just all about his lyrics. And then the chorus is just obviously ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I love the chorus on that song. And it came to me because of the beat. You know what I'm saying? I created that because of the beat. That's it wasn't done before. It was just done because the beat gave me that choppiness, that
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I was just
it's just a simple thing. It's just simple, but and it comes in, and then the way the drums hit, super simplistic, but it's a beautiful marriage of lyrics and production for sure.
Yeah, because and I want to tell them that what I do with music is never a part of my plan. It just comes natural. It's not okay. I'm going to plan to do this. No, it just comes natural. It's just that's who I am. You know what I'm saying?
I got my reasons, and he was showing off his singing skills on his albums. You can hear.
Yeah.
Not because it's not because I want to be better than somebody. It's not because I want to shine. It's not because I want to be dog. I just got my own reasons. I got my reasons. You know what I'm saying? So that's why
Yeah. It works. It works. Listen, it makes sense. We all got our reasons, right? There's a reason. Yeah. There's reasons for everything. Why we here, why we doing what we're doing, why we're passionate about certain things. We can go on forever. Yeah. Reasons for all of it. So so before we go, let the audience know what is it you guys are up to. I hear you got some shows coming up. Tell to the audience.
Yeah, we got the Full Blast tour for suicide prevention, which all the proceeds go towards that, which is phenomenal. It's curated by this guy named Deuce Bug, who's also an artist, and he's been doing this for years now. And it's got a crazy lineup of a bunch of people. You have Young Z and Pace One of the Outsiders on the first stop. Then you have Rod Digger in Clifton, New Jersey. Then we got Dizzy Wright and Elder Sensei from the Artifacts. Then we have cannabis and Afro. So to me, that's my dream. I was a cannabis nut when I was a kid. So, to be able to be in the same, building with him, even though I've met him before, that's just awesome. And Afro, he's from Long Island, where I'm from. So, of course, I've met and known him for a long time. Not known him, but knowing of him. And then, of course, it ends with, Ghostface Killer, man. Like that's Wu-Tang, right?
Yeah.
So it's super dope. We have a 13-minute set as Ghost Squad, and even though I'm not a performing artist, a couple of the records I have produced will be performed, of course. Yeah. So the last stop being in Connecticut, which is Ghostface Killer, which is amazing. So these are, for a lot of us, I don't want to say childhood heroes, but heroes, I'm saying, hip hop heroes in a lot of ways. And to be able to perform on the stage with a bunch of other upcoming acts, but we got 13 minutes as a crew, which is really dope. And I'm looking forward to the networking and people just being able to see what we can do on stage. And of course, we just did another grind mode cipher, which, we definitely destroyed, which, and we were able to perform for them as well, a 20-minute set, tore down the house. So in terms of shows, obviously, the idea is to do more after this, right? This should springboard into, some other opportunities that should present themselves if we do what we need to do. We have the talent to do so. So that's what we have happening next week. So I'll be flying up on Tuesday, and we're doing all 5 stops, and we're gonna stay and we're gonna see every single act that's there, and hopefully connect with and build with some other artists. And I always tell people, when you look at this isn't a festival, but if you look at any bill or any festival, you always see the small names at the bottom, right? And then you see the headliner's name at the top. And if you look at any festival from Lollapalooza to Rolling Loud, whoever is opening this year at one point was that little name at the bottom.
That's right.
They started there, right? All of them. I don't care if it was Griselda. I don't care if it was Calvin Harris or whatever you're into. At some point, they were that little ass name and you can barely read at the bottom.
Yeah.
And now they're the headliner, right? So to me, that's something to be aspirational. When people, me and Tru talk about it all the time. He's a very prophetic person, right? He thinks in future, right? He thinks in 5 years from now. He doesn't just think tomorrow. And that's how I feel, and that's how I think. So, right. So I have a 5-year plan as a producer. He has a 5-year plan as what he wants to do, and then we have a plan of what we want to do together. But at the end of the day, it's about planning for the future, and you got to build those blocks to get there. So we're not expecting to go on tour tomorrow and then be headlining, 2 months from now. But you got to start there, right? You got to start at the bottom and start working your way up. And this is that first step to that journey of getting there. And maybe not everybody's going to get to the top, but we have enough talented elite MCs in our crew that somebody's going to get there, if not everybody. And I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
No, you guys have, there's definitely tons of talent, and that's a good look. That's a really good look. I actually, you should be very proud. That's a good look. Talk to the audience about where they can find you. Go ahead, plug all your socials, plug where they can find the information. They want to go catch the shows.
Yeah. We'll go to full blast booking for tickets to the show. They're actually really cheap. The first show is in Oakdale, Long Island, which is my old home base in Long Island. So it's kind of cool to be back home. But that first stop actually is donation only. So there's kind of no reason, if no one has anything to do, to not go to the show, because again, all the proceeds is going towards mental health, suicide prevention. And they'll basically just take whatever donation at the door. If you got $3 in your pocket, you get $3 and you get it. So there's no set price on that. So that's a beautiful thing for the first stop. The rest of the stop, the tickets are anywhere between like 13 to, I think the most expensive ticket is $30 for the Ghostface one, which is understandable.
Of course.
So for that, just go to Full Bass booking and look at Tour for Life and click on the link. It'll take you right there to buy tickets. I bought tickets myself. Took me 2 minutes to do. Super easy. And look forward to obviously more things like that in the future.
What you said? Sure. Looking forward? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. No, I'll have the yeah, and I'll put all your links and everything also in the descriptions of the, on the audio and the video and stuff. So we'll have the links to get the ticket.
We moved up. We were in the bottom. Moved up. All right,
Yep.
You got bigger font now. You got bigger font.
We got bigger.
I know,
font.
right?
We went up more. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah,
hey, listen, yeah.
In all seriousness, I just want to say, obviously, thank you for having us. King Vir2ue for everything. Right now, to purchase the actual EP, go to truewordsmusic.com, which is a dope website. It's his website. I'm going to be adding the album and a few other surprises soon on my website. So I'm excited. Me and my fiance are revamping it right now just to kind of add some things because I'm not doing the BeatStar stuff. So I will have some customs available and things like that. If I mess with you, I've had since messing and collaborating with Tru, I've had more rappers, or at least they call themselves rappers, in my DMs that want to work with me. And as soon as I tell them that I need to be a part of the creative process, they Casper the Ghost. They're so trained and so used to the whole BeatStar culture that they don't want to hear any criticism or anything from me. And there's a few artists that I've worked with where one or two things happen. Either I gave my input and I was like, this can't come out. Like either they got to do another take, doesn't sound good enough. Like I'm not putting my name on it if I don't agree that it is just as dope as you. Or they took the constructive criticism, the song came out great, and they were thankful that they actually had somebody to not just give them a beat and say, here you go, have fun. Like took the time to listen and say, yep, I need you to change this and let's change that and let's make this record the best record it could possibly be. So not to go off on a tangent on that, but yeah.
That's dope. I agree. That's great. That's how it should be. That's how it should be, for real. That's how it should be.
Definitely. And you can find me Tru Werdz on Instagram and on Twitter. Facebook is Tru Werdz Music. Because it's tied to my my truewordsmusic.com, where you can find everything from merch to giveaways to 15% off on any music on that site. So you get a code and you punch in that code, you get 15% off on anything on that page. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. I listen, everybody, don't forget, go get Looking Forward from Tru Werdz. Of course, the EP's out now. Go get it, stream it, buy it, check out the websites, follow these gentlemen on social media, support that real hip hop. I really appreciate you guys. It's always a pleasure. Tru, you set the record for coming on my show 3 times. You've been on my show 3 times. Nobody else has been on more than twice. So
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Just gotta say one thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
One little treat that we're working on, because we've done so many records before, and this is our first EP. We are actually putting together a compilation, so we're going to remaster and put together our favorite records that we've collaborated on previously, and then we're going to include 2 or 3 new records as well. 3 records.
Oh, so, bonus cuts, nice, unreleased.
Yeah. So that's only going to be released through our website, either my website, kingvirtue.com, or truewordsmusic.com.
Yeah, it won't be on Spotify. I mean, been on Spotify, but the won't be on Spotify.
Right. So the merch behind it, and if we might have some physicals, so that's a possibility, some CDs or even vinyl possibly. So, but that's going to be the next thing because we've already gotten inundated from people that already want more, right? So nice. He has a ton of stuff coming out in the future. I have a ton of collaborations as well, where we're not working with each other because he's got EPs and other collabs, and I have a ton of artists I'm working with as well. But people always know when we get together, something special is going to happen. And I was just excited to do the project with Tru after, doing so many amazing singles that people just really loved. To be able to do, 6 tracks together and knock it out of the park and just getting, I've heard more people say, instant classic than anybody. And a lot of time, people are blowing smoke. And this time people were just like, nah, this really took them for a loop. They were surprised. We delivered. There was a high expectation set, but apparently we met it. So I'm super proud and glad and thankful.
Yeah, and
it was great. It was great. It blew my mind. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I was surprised, because I do know I've heard some of your old work, so I'm not saying I'm surprised, but it's always refreshing, right, to hear this in 2022. So,
I'm gonna be dropping some September with K Banger and bring some Gons from the Ghost Squad.
Gons, yep.
Yeah, we're gonna be releasing something. I'm not gonna say the name. I'm not gonna say nothing. We're just gonna release it September. October, I have something coming out with King Vir2ue. Right, when Halloween hits, you know what I'm saying? It's just like is in that area, of Halloween and that type of stuff.
Right.
And then I'm gonna be releasing something else in November. So and then
all right.
December, I got an EP with Banger. So I'm gonna be real busy for the rest of the year putting that out, plus working on our new project that we're putting it out on our website. So I'm gonna be real busy.
That's dope. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much for coming on again. And definitely it's been a pleasure. I really I love that album. Great album. Everybody go out there. Go check out the album. Looking forward. Tru Werdz, Tru Werdz King Vir2ue, Go Squad. You already know what it is.
Thank you. It's on all platforms. So even if you don't want to purchase it, you can even listen to it on YouTube or on our website. Click on it. All the links are there. Just listen to it and hear it and spread the word. We just want people to discover just how dope this music is.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. I appreciate you guys, and look, all the best. And of course, we'll stay in touch along the way as we always do.
Yeah, thank you, Santos, for real. Every time, man. We appreciate you.
Always, it's always love. I appreciate you guys.
All right, brother.
All right, peace. Man, so that was great. It's always good catching up with these brothers. Make sure you guys check out Looking Forward, the EP. I'm telling you, I am not just saying this, guys. Like, the real hip hop, you gotta go look for it. These guys right here. First of all, if you ever heard anything these guys came out with before, or anything that the GOAT Squad makes, you should not be surprised that it's good or that people are throwing the word classic out there. This shit is good, okay? This EP is really good. I was just listening to it before I came on to get myself pumped up and get myself in the mood. And great EP. Definitely check out what they have in store. I'm going to post all the links, of course, on the audio and on the YouTube. Give the video a like, comment, thumbs up, subscribe. The Santos Says YouTube channel. And the whole thing. And that was episode number 5 to the GOAT Squad, of course. Don't forget to follow me on social media. Santos Threads Shop on Instagram. Santos Threads Shop on TikTok. Of course, Santos-Threads.com. The fall collection coming soon. Later on this month. I'm thinking August 28th, around that time. I'll have an announcement. But it's coming out later on this month. We're going to have some new fall, winter collection. Hoodies, sweatshirts, the whole thing. Long sleeve tees, hats, beanies, etc. The whole thing. And so, don't forget, I know we're getting close to back to school. I have an affiliate right now. I have an affiliate link with Zappos.com. You get free shipping. Check out Zappos. They're sponsored now. And we got a nice partnership. So check out Zappos. Could not forget to mention them. The link will be below to shop some of my favorite handpicked items. And of course, don't just say what you mean or mean what you say. Say it with your chest.